Welcome to 5 Minutes in the Word, your daily devotional from Truett Baptist Church. I'm Brother Dennis, and today I'm going to be sharing with you from John chapter 1, verses 40 through 42. So let's dig into the Word together. John 1, 41 and 40 through 42 says this: Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, was one of the two who heard John and followed him. He first found his own brother Simon and told him, "We have found the Messiah," which is translated the Christ, and he brought Simon to Jesus. When Jesus saw him, he said, "You are Simon, son of John. You will be called Cephas," which is translated Peter. Well, look at this passage. There's a couple of things we see. One of the first things we see is Andrew. In this story, we find Andrew coming into contact with Jesus. Andrew comes into contact with Jesus because John the Baptist introduces him to Jesus. And this encounter changes his life. Now, one of the things you see in the text is when the Bible introduces Andrew, it calls him Simon Peter's brother. Now, why is that? Why does it say this is Simon Peter's brother? Well, because in John's day, or in the day that he wrote this book, Simon Peter had become a pretty popular figure around the world, the ancient world, especially among Christians. Everybody knew who Simon Peter was, but not a lot of them knew who Andrew was. And this sort of reminds me of a story I want to share with you. It's a story about a guy by the name of Edward Kimball. Edward Kimball was a Sunday school teacher who led a group, was given a group in his church of hyperactive boys. And if any of you have ever had boys in your class, you know how hard that is. And as he taught these boys, he began to ask the question, am I making a difference? Well, one of the things that Kimball decided was that he was going to intentionally share the gospel with every last boy in his class. And so, as time went, he decided to go to one boy who was particularly troublesome in his class, and his name was Dwight. He goes to the shoe store that Dwight was working at, to the stocking shelves where Dwight was stocking shoes, and he confronted him about the importance of a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. That day, that young man heard the gospel on that Saturday. He believed the gospel of Jesus Christ as Savior, and he became a Christian. That boy Dwight's last name was Moody. His name was Dwight L. Moody, and Dwight L. Moody would become an evangelist who changed the world for the gospel. He touched lives on 2 continents with thousands professing Christ through his ministry. But the story doesn't really end there, because actually under his tutelage, there was a man by the name of Wilbur Chapman who became an evangelist, and he too shared the gospel with thousands. And one day, a professional baseball player who had a day off came to one of Chapman's meetings, and he became a Christian and also became an evangelist. His name was Billy Sunday. Billy Sunday would leave professional baseball and become a member of Chapman's team until Chapman accepted her pastorate, and he began his own evangelistic crusades. During one of his crusades, a man by the name of Mordecai Ham accepted Christ. Mordecai Ham, too, became an evangelist, and he wasn't above renting a hearse and parading it through the streets advertising his meetings. Well, one week, Ham was doing a series of sermons in Charlotte, North Carolina, and there was a young man there by the name of Billy Frank, as his family called him, who said he was never going to any of these messages, never going to the school where the high school where this revival was happening, and he wasn't going to be a part of it. Well, one night, Billy Frank came. He heard the gospel of Jesus Christ, and he too became a Christian. And his name, Billy Frank Graham. And as most of you know, Billy Graham became an evangelist who would preach the gospel to people throughout the world. And you can go through his lineage and find others who heard the gospel through Billy Graham's messages, who are now doing crusades all over the world and sharing the gospel with others. And so we see this fascinating chain of events that was triggered by Sunday school teachers concerned for the boys in his Sunday school class. This is what we see in the story of Andrew. Andrew is not the more famous of the brothers. He's not the one that we know. He's not the one that everybody was shouting about. But because of Andrew's faithfulness to share the gospel, thousands and millions of lives have been changed by the gospel. You may be sitting here watching this video. You may be a Sunday school teacher, or you may not even be that. You may just be a member of the church. but there's someone that God's calling you to share the gospel with, and you never know if that person may be the next Billy Graham, Mordecai Ham, Billy Sunday, or Wilbur, or Dwight Moody. You never know who you're sharing the gospel with. So I want to encourage you, share the gospel, love people with the gospel, and God will transform lives. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. 5 minutes in the Word.